was also good for their environment, citing a 2014 study in the journal Climatic Change that vegetarian diets were associated with a reduction in food-related greenhouse gas emissions. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Hewlett-Packard is known for their basic, no-frills computers, but that doesn't mean they can't keep up with the latest technology. In a press release yesterday, HP said, quote, "We are excited to begin offering that cloud thing that everyone is talking about. We definitely have the cloud on our computers, and it is better than anyone else's cloud." Earlier today, I sat down with HP spokesman Gary Klinman, who said the company couldn't wait to show people, quote, how they do their cloud stuff.
We are absolutely thrilled that now people with computers or phones, both will now be able to back things up to the cloud.
Klinman says it isn't surprising they're, quote, up on the cloud, considering they're on the cutting edge of all the latest tech trends. Are there any additional features?
Crowdsourcing is something we are having. Crowdsourcing 2.0. We have social sharing. We have 5G, 6G, really all the Gs. We have app. We have all of it in the computer.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You may join us here on the radio and take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Plus, there's our Discord on-air call-in line rooms where you can join us and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Go to discord.lrn.fm and you can connect there, and we'll get you on the air. And again, you can talk about anything that you want to discuss. On the way here tonight, a cop found guilty for murder, from what I understand, which is a very unusual circumstance. Darryl has that story. And in addition, Bill Cosby may have taken a bunch of money and put it into Bitcoin prior to, well, I would imagine hitting all this legal trouble that he's gotten himself into. I believe he's going to be sentenced for those, was it sexual assault charges in late September, if I recall correctly. So he has not yet been sentenced for.
Yeah, he's going to jail if I
he will likely be going to prison unless he gets some sort of miraculous pat on the hand or slap on the wrist sentence from this judge.
I think it's for a long enough period of time where he ain't going to be alive when he gets out.
There's a very good chance that he's already in his 80s, if I recall correctly. So anyway, we can talk about all that. Of course, your calls and thoughts. And you can bring up whatever you want. Again, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. But on Wednesday night, I think it was, or maybe it wasn't Wednesday night. Anyway, we talked about the Venezuelan Petro.
Yeah, that was Wednesday.
And I had other things to discuss regarding Venezuela, specifically their new money, the Sovereign Bolivar.
Right,
as it is
that
called.
apparently is backed by the Petro, which is a completely non-existent thing, except for in the mind of Nicolas Maduro.
Right. And whatever his propaganda department is, because they, keep putting out press
they probably
releases.
don't even believe him.
You don't think?
They know it's BS.
Well, isn't the propaganda department the one making the propaganda? So
that's correct.
They know that they're creating a lie?
Yes, they know it's BS.
Probably, but I don't know. It's possible that they're such true believers in whatever it is that they're told that they just essentially, propagate
They
lies.
believe their own lies?
Well, if your job is to propagate information and
they
you're
don't
given
have to
misinformation.
believe the lies. They just have to make other people believe the lies.
Sure. But if they don't know their lies and they believe the misinformation they've been given,
are they being given the information or are they creating the information?
Well, that's a good question. Somebody out there in the Venezuelan government is in charge of this Petro thing, right? This idea of the Venezuelan government is going to make some kind of cryptocurrency. They want you to believe they made it back in February. When it was launched on a dismal website with confusing instructions, broken forms. With
the website didn't work.
Right. With that's a shorter way of saying that. But yes, and also at the same time, the white papers that they released for this so-called cryptocurrency were different. They were inconsistent. They changed their mind at the last minute.
They were contradictory throughout the white papers themselves.
Yeah. And
this will be an ERC-20 token that will have its own blockchain. No, you don't. No, that's not how that works.
Don't forget they also switched it at the last minute, supposedly
to run
from
on
an ERC,
NEM.
Right, from an ERC-20 on the Ethereum network to this NEM network, which is a completely different cryptocurrency and network.
Right.
And then they didn't update their white papers in all the languages, and it was just
a mess.
Yeah, a mess. The people who wanted to invest in the Petro currency were unable to successfully accomplish that.
Right.
But yet at the same time, Maduro and his government were putting out press releases and giving speeches bragging about the billions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency that they had earned through this initial kind of ICO, initial currency offering, if you will, this sale of the so-called Petro, which again, nobody could find any evidence that anything actually exists when it comes to this Petro thing, not just in February of this year, but in August of this year, where we are right now. So here we are now 6 months away.
So there's still nothing?
There is nothing.
For something that supposedly exists, there's nothing.
It does not exist. There's nothing trading. There's no evidence of anything anywhere.
There is a token on the NEM platform.
But it hasn't moved, right?
I went and looked, and it looks like stuff moved, but it may have just like moved around back to itself somehow.
So,
like, it was really confusing.
Yeah, it's basically a big joke, but yet Maduro is acting like it's, the real deal. Here's another related to just the Petro here before we get into the Sovereign Bolivar, because as you pointed out, they're saying the Sovereign Bolivar is going to be backed by the Petro,
which is backed by oil, but
supposedly,
but if you
we know they have oil,
right?
They have oil.
I have in my hand the largest amount of nothing, but this large amount of nothing is backed by something.
You've lost me.
In this hand,
what's in what hand?
I have the largest amount of nothing.
Is that
in
the
my
oil
left
or
hand.
the Petro? What are you?
The Petro is the largest amount of nothing.
But it's supposed to be backed by.
It's
oil.
backed by something.
Right.
So over here I have something.
Right.
In my hand, I have nothing. The nothing is backed by something.
As soon as you can get the Petro in your hand.
In my right hand, I have the sovereign Darryl currency.
Yeah.
That is backed by nothing. That's backed by something.
That makes total sense. You follow that, right, Chris?
That's what this thing is. It's a weird shell game without the shells, and there is no ball. There's just a lunatic.
Story from 2 days ago here, except he's in charge of the government.
He's still a lunatic.
Yes. President Nicolas, he's also a socialist, but I do repeat myself. President Nicolas Maduro ordered banks to adopt the Petro. The Maduro government launched cryptocurrency as a unit of account and to use this cryptocurrency in all financial reports.
Wait.
You almost made me choke on my
Sorry,
water.
Darryl.
Oh, wow. Use the nothing as a unit of account.
Right. Okay, banks, this thing, we really want people to believe it exists, so go ahead and start acting like it exists, is essentially what is going on here. The story is from coinspeaker.com. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has ordered Venezuela's banks to accept the Petro digital currency as a unit of account. Public and private banks must now reflect all financial information in Bolivars and Petros. Such a decision has been taken in order to alleviate the economic crisis that has plagued the country for several years now. See, that's all they got to do, is they just have to tell the banks to have the Petro on their books, and then
it exists.
And they can link the sovereign Bolivar to some arbitrary amount of Petro, and then they'll have themselves an exchange rate, and then it's real. It's just as real as any other government currency, right? That's what fiat currency is. It's them saying, we say this exists.
At least with U.S. dollars, like I have some in my wallet.
Sure.
Canadian dollar. I actually do have a Canadian $5 bill.
We even have a Bolivar Fuerte here. We've got a Bolivar Fuerte.
Right. So we can touch these other state-issued currencies.
Mm-hmm.
nobody can do anything with the Petro. So no, that does not exist.
That makes it even better for fiat currency, though. I mean, now the government doesn't even have to print them. Now they can just act like it exists and pretend like it exists.
They're claiming it's a cryptocurrency. But there's no way that anybody can use said cryptocurrency because it doesn't exist.
Details. The news came after the Petro cryptocurrency had received an official status of the Venezuelan second official currency 2 weeks ago. The president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, believes that Petro is a tool for overcoming economic difficulties. That's why Venezuela has a new accounting system in which there are two officially recognized units of account. The first one is the state-issued Petro. Well, it's the fantasy is that they've issued it because they haven't.
It's kind of funny because it could potentially thwart economic sanctions on the country if they actually implemented it and rolled something out, but they actually follow their own rules and procedures and stuff,
which
they
won't do,
and that's the problem, right? I mean,
the first one is the state-issued Petro, while the second is a new Petro peg-denominated Bolivar, which loses 5 zeros if compared with the existing national currency. That they're talking about this is a very poorly written article here. They're talking about the sovereign Bolivar, or the Bolivar Soberano. We'll continue here in moments, and let's take a closer look at the Soberano. It's been out for about 10 days now. It's Free Talk Live.
Woohoo!
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
Formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways.
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com.
With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global.
Free Talk Live.
You know, and this is a realistic view. I mean, look, your kids are going to do drugs. Would you rather them do drugs with pimply-faced kids driving around town? Or would you rather them smoke pot in your house where you know what they're doing? I'm not saying I love the idea of my little boy who's 3 growing up and smoking pot. I don't. I would prefer he didn't. But I know that the human animal, as it is, likes to have its mind altered. And he's my son. He's probably going to do these things. And I'll tell you, I was in a lot of dangerous situations that if my parents had tried something different, maybe things would have worked out differently. I don't know. I'm not blaming them or anything like that. I'm just saying that we need to try new things. This war on drugs, not working.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Joining you in the studio tonight, you got Ian here.
And Chris.
And Darryl.
And, of course, you can take control of the airwaves also on Discord at discord.lrn.fm. You do need to have the Discord app in order to utilize that as a high-quality means of getting on the air with us. So we're talking about the Venezuela Bolivar Soberano, which is the latest, I guess, scam attempt to try to misdirect,
yes,
to try to confuse, to try to satiate, to pull the wool, continue pulling the wool over, or to try to pull the wool back down over the eyes of the Venezuelan people, who I suspect are not going to be fooled again in this particular case. For those that have not been paying attention to what is the most hyperinflated currency on the planet at the moment, that is the Venezuelan Bolivar, which of course was actually up until 10 days ago, the Bolivar Fuerte, the strong Bolivar, replaced the original Bolivar. What was it, 15 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It was a while
back. It was in the aughts, if I recall correctly, and early aughts, mid to early aughts. And now they've replaced the Bolivar Fuerte with the Bolivar Soberano, or the Sovereign Bolivar, which sounds like it's got the word sober in it. You know, the sort of
March 2007.
Okay, so 2007. So the Fuerte,
or rather, that's when it was announced, and then January of 2008 is when it was actually
introduced. So it lasted
introduced.
for 10 years.
Basically,
before
yes.
It was replaced, before they lobbed 5 zeros off of the currency, which would mean that it took a 50,000 Bolivar note and turned it into a 5. So try to imagine that happening to your currency. I mean, here in the United States,
No, you're off.
I'm off?
5 zeros would be a 500,000 became a 5.
Oh, you're right.
Do you imagine losing your whole house and like just the value goes to $5?
This house is now worth $3.
Right. Well, of course, it's actually the money that changes value. So the house itself is still something you can live in. It's still valued at something. It's just
you would think
right,
that
but they'll change the tax rates based on the value.
That's true.
But at the same time, I would imagine that, you won't be able to make the money, so the housing prices are going to go down too.
I imagine the housing prices are down through the floor right now in Venezuela. But we're just kind of discussing the monetary situation there, considering they're claiming to back this sovereign or so-called sovereign Bolivar with the Petro, which is essentially a non-existent cryptocurrency. They want to keep calling it a cryptocurrency, but it's not really accurate to do that, considering that it doesn't even exist. There's no evidence that it exists. And if it did exist, they certainly haven't opened up the source code for it for anybody to take a look at yet, so you really don't have any idea.
Nobody's mining it.
Right. If it's cryptographically sound or secure, you have no clue.
If there's no wallet, what's there to release code-wise?
Right. There's nothing.
There's nothing here.
There's basically nothing. And so here's a little bit more from a different story. This is Forbes magazine. So again, this new Sovereign Bolivar started 10 days ago. It was on the 20th, or 11 days ago now. So the 20th of this month when they officially launched this thing. Now, of course, there's going to be a crossover period where if you have the old Bolivar Fuerte, you can still go to the bank and you can exchange that and get the new Sovereign Bolivar. And, of course, the big question is, how long before the insane inflation rates start to hit the new Sovereign Bolivar? It's only been about 11 days, and according to Wikipedia, as I noted on my Mastodon post the other night, according to Wikipedia, the Sovereign Bolivar launched on the 20th. At that time, according to DollarToday.com, the black market rate was, 2 days ago, not 2 days ago, 2 days after, on 8/22, the black market rate for the Sovereign Bolivar was 71.2 per US dollar. So just to give you some comparison, previously to this, the Bolivar Fuerte, the previous iteration, was going for about $3.5 million per US dollar.
Wow.
Okay, so like on the 19th of this month,
right,
it was about $3.5 million Bolivar to $1 US dollar. Now with the new lobbing off of the zeros in this new Sovereign Bolivar, it is now was 71.2 Sovereign Bolivars per US dollar. Now, 1 week later, it has risen to 87.35 Sovereign Bolivars per US dollar, which is a 22.6% decrease in value in just the first week.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. And what was the number that you tossed out on Wednesday where some guy was calculating the daily inflation rate around $60-something thousand or 60,000%?
60, yeah, I think it was 60-something thousand%, which obviously
which is the daily percentage.
I don't know how that's calculated. Because obviously going down by 26% in a week is not quite 60,000%. So I don't know where those numbers come from. But Steve Hanke is somebody who knows a thing or two about this. In fact, I believe that he was the one that was citing those numbers. He's from Johns Hopkins University. He's a professor, economist, author, currency expert, and alumni over at a senior fellow at the Cato Institute. This is his piece for Forbes, entitled Venezuela's Great Bolivar Scam, Nothing But a Facelift. In the days leading up to Venezuela's currency reform, which is set for August 20th, the Bolivar has taken yet another deep dive. The chart shows, he includes this, chart shows the Bolivar's free fall and the massive gap between the official exchange rate of what was at the time, remember, we're talking about the previous Bolivar now, 248,521 Bolivar Fuerte to $1 US dollar, whereas the black market exchange rate, correction, apparently it went up a little bit. I told you it was 3.5 million. Apparently at the very bitter end of the Bolivar Fuerte, it had risen to 6.6 million Bolivar Fuerte per US dollar. So bit of a difference there. 3.5 million up to 6.6 million per US dollar. So again, the difference in the exchange rates is quite vast, right? You had the government's official exchange rate of 248,000 per dollar, and the black market says, no, it's worth 6.6 million per dollar, meaning much, 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 much less by multiple factors. That gap results in a whopping black market premium of 2,584%. It also produces huge profits for Maduro's cronies who have access to the official rate. They can purchase greenbacks for peanuts, then sell them on the black market for an instantaneous profit of 2,500%.
Wow.
Because remember, in Venezuela, you can go into a bank as a regular person. You can hand the bank a US dollar, and they will hand you the official exchange rate, in this case, 248,000 Bolivar per dollar. You cannot go in and get dollars back out of the bank. You can't go into the bank and give them 248,000 Bolivar and get $1 US dollar.
Right.
It's only a one-way exchange. But what he's saying here is some of Maduro's buddies have access to the reverse, where they can get the dollar.
Of course they do.
And then they turn around and flip them on the black market. The toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. More about the facelift on the Bolivar, the third iteration of it in just as many decades. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Holy road.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free, take control of the airwaves here, and bring up anything that you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, and Free Talk Live is brought to you by Horizon. It used to be known as Zencash, and Horizon was rebranded because, well, Zencash, now Horizon, is much bigger than just cryptocurrency. actually a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. It's going to do more than just crypto. In fact, it already does private chat. But it's also going to enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. That's what's the vision, at least partially, for Horizon. You can go to horizon.global and learn more about it. You can read the white paper, HORIZEN.global. Horizon is bringing privacy to life. As we continue here, it's Ian, Chris, and Darryl in the studio tonight. We're talking about a piece here by Steve Hanke, contributor to Forbes magazine. He's been paying close attention to what's happening in Venezuela with their currency. And this stuff is fascinating. It's horrible for the people who are living there because they're having a tough time getting the most basic food items.
Yes.
Many of them have lost dozens of pounds in just the last 2 years simply because they don't have...
Some of them have lost dozens of pounds in the last year.
Yep. Simply because they don't have access to food, and they are lucky to even eke out a meal, if not a meal and a half, in 1 day's time frame. So we're discussing the difference between the black market rate of the Bolivar Fuerte, which was the previous Bolivar that just ended officially within about 10 days ago. It started, the new Bolivar Soberano, started up on the 20th of this month. I don't know for how long the crossover period is going to be, but there's going to be a period of time in which prices on shelves are expected to be doubled, or not doubled, but two different prices on shelves, right. One for the Bolivar Fuerte, one for the new one. And they will obviously exchange them.
You mentioned the wiki article, yep. And I don't know how accurate this is, but it says that prices will be expressed in Bolivar Soberanos starting August 1st.
Yeah.
So it sounds as though they're already doing all of the pricing in the Soberano,
but that wasn't available
and no
yet.
Longer in. Whether it was available or not, it sounds like they'd switched to expressing the prices in the Soberano and no longer the Bolivar Fuerte.
Now, didn't they have multiple fiat currencies already?
No. Talking about Venezuela?
Yeah.
No.
I thought they did.
Well, they had the original Bolivar, but that switched out in 2008 to the Bolivar Fuerte. And now they're switching from the Bolivar
Fuerte. Aren't there two exchange rates?
There are.
There are a couple of different exchange rates for various things, but that doesn't mean that there's two versions of the Bolivar Fuerte or two versions of the Bolivar Soberano.
The two exchanges were called, the government official exchange rates were called, I believe, DIPRO and DICOM, DIPRO and DICOM. And I feel like I read somewhere that they deactivated
like an
one of them.
International rate, and then the other was the internal rate or something.
You'll have to check on that one, because I feel like there was one that was for certain goods and another that was for goods that weren't within that category. But let's go on. So we're talking about, again, this rebranding for the Bolivar. It was the Bolivar Fuerte. Now it's the Sovereign Bolivar, or the Bolivar Soberano.
And you are correct. Earlier this year, Venezuela eliminated the what Reuters refers to as the heavily subsidized DPRO Forex rate.
Okay, so now all they have is the DCOM one?
Yes.
Okay.
Apparently, unless they brought something else since getting rid of this one.
Now, what I'm curious about is to find out what the DCOM rate is now on the new Sovereign Bolivar, if there's some way we could figure that out as the show goes on, because there's more to say here from Forbes. So we're talking about the black market gap of 2,500% right before the Sovereign Bolivar was released, meaning that the price of the Bolivar, the difference between the official rate and the black market rate was 2,584%. That is a huge difference. And so as he points out, this produces large profits for Maduro's cronies who have access to purchasing dollars at the official rate, because then they can just buy the greenbacks for the official rate and then flip them into the black market and make 2,500% on them. With the collapse of the Bolivar, inflation, by my measure, has surged. Indeed, Venezuela's inflation rate has just reached an all-time high. Now, this article, by the way, was written just a few days after the beginning of the Sovereign Bolivar. The annual rate, he says, now sits at 48,760%. Venezuela's hyperinflation, which started in November of 2016, has legs. On Monday, Venezuela will launch a currency reform that it claims will put an end to Venezuela's hyperinflation nightmare. A new sovereign bolivar will replace the old bolivar. The conversion rate will be 100,000 old bolivars to 1 sovereign. This currency redenomination will result in 5 zeros being lopped off of Venezuela's official unit of account. To put this into perspective, 100,000 old bolivars at the current free market exchange rate are worth 1.5 cents in U.S. dollar. In addition to lobbing 5 zeros off of Venezuela's unit of account, the sovereign bolivar is supposed to be linked to the Petro, Venezuela's cryptocurrency, which is supposed to be anchored to a barrel of oil. So if the sovereign bolivar works as advertised, Venezuela would move from issuing an irredeemable fiat currency to issuing a commodity-backed redeemable currency. But since Venezuela's Petro is dysfunctional and considered a scam and not a currency, I'll focus solely on the reality of Monday's redenomination of the bolivar. The bolivar's redenomination will be like going under the knife of one of Caracas's famous plastic surgeons. Appearances change, but in reality, nothing changes. That's what's in store for the bolivar. A facelift. These facelifts always accompany episodes of hyperinflation. Indeed, the greatest hyperinflation on record was Hungary's, where the daily inflation rate reached 207% in July of 1946. This was followed by a currency reform on August 1st of 1946. The pengo was replaced by the forint, and the conversion rate was, get this now, 400 octillion, that's 4 followed by 29 zeros, pengo, so the old currency in Hungary, to 1 forint. So Hungary lobbed off 29 zeros from its unit of accounting.
Yeah, Zimbabwe never got that bad.
This was the biggest lopping off of zeros in history. But there have been other spectacular currency redenominations. Allow me to take a trip down memory lane for a first-hand account of my days as the personal economic advisor to the Deputy Prime Minister of the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia from 1990 until June 1991, when the Civil War broke out. I first met Deputy Prime Minister Zivko Pregl in late 1989 at a dinner in Vienna, Austria. The dinner, which Miss Hankey and I attended, was arranged by our good friend, the late great Daniel Swarovski from Wattens, Tyrol. The day following our most pleasurable dinner, Pregl, the person responsible for developing economic reforms for the Yugoslav government led by the late Ante Markovic, requested a meeting. We discussed his reform ideas, and he invited me to become his advisor. I indicated that I had reservations because I was a classical liberal free market economist, and he was a leader of a communist league of Yugoslavia. Pregl then surprised me when he said my qualifications were exactly why he invited me to be his advisor. He asserted that he wanted to implement free market reforms and didn't want watered-down advice. Pregl persisted, and after I learned that he had a hand in the dissolution of the Communist League of Yugoslavia in January of 1990 and was committed to real free market reforms, I agreed to become his advisor. I had just arrived in Belgrade in January of 1990 when I was faced with what I considered to be a major Yugoslav policy blunder. Yugoslavia had just initiated a currency reform in which the old dinar was replaced by a convertible dinar. With that facelift, 4 zeros were removed. I concluded that the convertible dinar would never survive and argued that the only thing that could save the dinar would be a currency board in which the dinar traded freely at a fixed rate with the Dutch mark and was backed 100% by Dutch mark reserves. I was so convinced the Yugoslav currency reform of 1990 would end in a disaster that I co-authored a book with Kurt Schuler on what Yugoslavia should have done with the dinar, namely make it a clone of the Deutschmark. Our book, Monetary Reform and the Development of the Yugoslav Market Economy, was published in London by the anti-communist group or whatever. So, we'll tell you more, because apparently his advice was not followed by Yugoslavia, and we'll tell you what happened when they tried what's going on in Venezuela right now. 855-450, free if you want to join us here. It couldn't happen here, could it? It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com. DINOVITE.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
If you wear a denture, are you sure your breath is clean and fresh? Try Polident. It's specifically designed to clean a denture because it's tough on odor-causing bacteria, but gentle on the denture itself. Polident has a 4-in-1 cleaning system with 4 powerful ingredients that work together to deep clean your denture. It kills 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria in laboratory testing and helps to remove stains. Feel confident and clean every day with Polident. Available at Walmart for a low price every day.
You sit at a desk. They sit at a desk. You have sales reports. They have book reports. You need supplies. They need supplies. Business is a lot like school. That's why your small business should take advantage of back-to-school deals at Staples. Now Staples 1-inch 3-ring binders are $1.92. 1 subject notebooks are just 25 cents, and 12 packs of ballpoint stick pens are just 97 cents each. Make back-to-school your business at Staples.
While supplies last. Offers end 9/1/18. In-store only. Limit 30.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. The number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We've been looking at the new Bolivar Soberano, and you would have to be drinking heavily to believe that the Bolivar Soberano is going to do anything at all to save the economy from hyperinflation in Venezuela. Because for people who don't know, or the people who pretend to not know, and I don't know if Nicolas Maduro doesn't know, or if he's just pretending to not know, but hyperinflation isn't something created by outside forces. Hyperinflation is completely created.
Just give him 2 years and he can fix all of this.
2 more years. Hyperinflation is created by the government. It's created by the central bank issuing unending mountains and mountains of currency into circulation. And that, of course, goes into the hands of the politically connected first, so they benefit from it. And then after that, it enters the rest of the economy, and ultimately prices shoot up as a result. And then you end up having people carrying around, backpacks full and bags full of cash in order to buy the most basic things like a loaf of bread.
In
or
hopes
dinner.
that they can buy a loaf of bread. And we've been trying to figure out what is the official exchange rate between the Bolivar Soberano and the U.S. dollar. And the closest thing that I could find was Bloomberg has an exchange rate for the U.S. dollar to the Bolivar Fuerte, and then lop off the 50, so basically move the decimal point. So based on what I've been able to figure, the exchange rate is currently $1 U.S. to 2.48 Bolivar Soberano. I also found that apparently the Central Bank of Venezuela has launched a cell phone app called Calculadoro Soberano, or the Sovereign Calculator, to help users convert prices from Bolivar Fuerte to Bolivar Soberano.
Well, that's handy. So we're talking with...
and I just downloaded the app, by the way, because I'm curious.
It's a government app,
Are
though?
you really?
It's in the Google Play Store.
That doesn't
I'm going
mean it's
to
safe.
delete it
Yeah.
as soon as I'm done with it.
Google does... Just a warning for other
I
listeners.
wouldn't do this for anybody else listening.
Just so you know, Google Play Store does not vet software. So unlike the Apple App Store, where they have a ridiculous approval process, Google pretty much just lets anybody in until the reports come in that, oh, this is malware, oh, this is a scam piece of software. Then they'll remove it if enough reports come in after they look at something. So basically, any government, like the Venezuelan government, that wants to get on your device and do who knows what, can just easily put that stuff out there. So I would highly recommend against doing what Darryl is doing, but it's his phone. He can do what
and
he wants.
all it does is converts between
That you know
Bolivars to Bolivar Soberanos.
Well, isn't that what it was intended to do?
Right, I figured it would help you convert to other currencies as well. No.
I'm surprised it even works. So, back to the story here from Forbes, and it's by Steve Hanke from Johns Hopkins University. He's recollecting his days in the communist Yugoslavia when he was brought on board by some higher-up boss character in that particular government in order to institute certain reforms, ostensible free market reforms. But just after he arrived in Belgrade, he realized that they'd made a huge mistake before he even got there, and that is that they replaced their dinar with a convertible dinar, took away 4 zeros from it. He gave them advice on, hey, don't do that again, and whatever else advice that he gave them, and they didn't follow it.
Okay, so next time we don't remove 4 zeros, we remove 8 zeros.
And here's what he says. The dinar zeros just kept coming off in one cosmetic currency reform after another. In 1992, another zero was removed. Then in 1993, 6 zeros were removed in October, and another 9 came off in December. When the monthly inflation rate reached 313 million% in January of 1994, another 7 zeros were lobbed off. In total, from 1990 through 1994, 5 new dinars were issued and 27 zeros were removed from the hapless dinar.
Wow.
Unless Venezuela adopts a completely new currency regime like a currency board or dollarization, the bolivar will face the same fate as did the Yugoslav dinar. Hyperinflation will soar, and the bolivar will more frequently come under the knife.
And one thing that Maduro has said repeatedly is that Venezuela will not dollarize.
Yeah, that's correct. His opposition in the election that ultimately went in favor of Maduro because of rampant election fraud, and the opposition, most of them won't even participate in the elections because they don't believe they're legitimate.
The opposition leaders were all prohibited from seeking office for the most part.
And they were calling for dollarization, although, many of the opposition are also socialists too, as we've recently learned. So,
right.
It's not like they're going to make that big
they're
of a
not
difference.
libertarians.
No.
They're just, not Maduro.
We're not Maduro. Yeah, exactly.
That is opposition in Venezuela, but still, Nicolas Maduro and his cronies have, instituted various punishments of, you said this thing, so you're now in prison, and as part of your punishment, you are prohibited from seeking political office for the next fill-in-the-blank number of years.
So, according to whatever numbers you believe, now, you reported the Wikipedia or Bloomberg, I think, Bloomberg rate was 2.48.
They were only showing the Bolivar Fuerte as 248,000.
Right, but
and
knock
I just
off 5 zeros
moved
from
the
that.
decimal point.
So we'll say the high end for the official government exchange rate is 2.48 Bolivar Soberano per U.S. dollar. The dollartoday.com website, which is, as far as I'm concerned, the expert site on money in Venezuela. Right. It's run by a guy who is an expatriate of Venezuela. He's now living in, I think, Hoover, Alabama, working at a, last we heard, he was working at a Home Depot. And so this guy running this website is like, enemy number one of the Venezuelan state government. They hate this guy, or the federal government in Venezuela. They literally have called out his website as the reason for hyperinflation.
Yes.
They have tried to claim that a man publishing numbers on a website somewhere about what people are paying in the black market, because that's how he gets his numbers. He gets reports from people in Venezuela that he knows who are active in the black market, and they say, okay, this is what it's trading at today. Okay, next day, this is what it's trading at today. Maybe he does it more than once a day, but at least once a day, he's getting numbers from Venezuela, and he's putting them on the internet. But the government in Venezuela wants you to believe that the fact that he's putting numbers on the internet is creating the hyperinflation. That the idea being that people believe the numbers he's putting out there, and so therefore that's why they're paying what they're paying in the black market. When, of course, the reverse is actually true. He's just reporting on what people are actually paying in the black market. So, according to his numbers, the official government exchange rate for the Bolivar Sovereign, or the Sovereign Bolivar, is 1.14 to 1. So they would like you to believe that it's 1.14 to 1. So either way, if we're talking about, let's take the higher number here, right?
Yep.
2 point, whatever it was.
Just call it 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. Currently, according to dollartoday.com, you've got 87.22, which is the black market rate, meaning $1 US will get you 87.22 sovereign Bolivar on the black market.
All right.
As opposed to the official rate, where you can go to a bank, turn in $1 US, and now get, let's call it 2.5.
Right. 2.5.
So I think you then divide in 2.5 into 87. So basically that's 34, what is that, 3,480 something percentage difference?
Yeah.
Between the official rate, the high official rate, and the actual black market rate.
Yeah.
Already, after week number 1, after 10 days of this new regime, 10 days of the new Sovereign Bolivar. So, yeah, how bad is it going to get? How quickly is it going to go that bad? I don't know, but certainly the history provided by the Forbes author is very instructive, where these other currencies have lopped off 8 zeros, then 6 zeros, then more zeros, all the way up to 27 zeros knocked off the currency. And if it's not crystal clear why this doesn't work to somebody listening out there, can we make it more clear somehow of why just knocking zeros off of a government currency doesn't actually solve anything?
Yeah, I don't know how to make it any more clear other than to keep showing people examples of, here's this, here's that. Look at Zimbabwe. And what they wound up doing, they just got rid of their central bank.
And they're dollars now only in Zimbabwe? Or
I don't think they have an official currency.
So just whatever's trading in the market?
People generally use dollars.
All right, there's more coming up here. You can share your thoughts on the way. We got, let's see, more to talk about. Cop found guilty. That is on deck. It's Free Talk Live.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Deagle, MD, AAEM, ACAM, A4M, of NutriMedical.com, and a consultant providing email advice free on advanced protocols for your optimized wellness and advanced technologies to heal and regenerate you. You can contact us at NutriMedical.com, that's NutriMedical.com, or 888-212-8871. You get free email starter protocols of our top medical-grade nutraceuticals, initial testing, and recommendations for your own primary doctor to do, as well as recommendations to give you an idea of a consultation and a full protocol to try to help you regenerate your tissues, heal naturally without the use of toxic polypharmacy. I can send test kits to you as well anywhere in the world and provide you recommendations to referral of specialty clinics worldwide. So contact me, Dr. Bill Deagle, at NutriMedical.com. That's NutriMedical.com or 888-212-8871.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, August 31st, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.59 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,203 per ounce. Zen is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,922. Antiwar.com reports the Trump administration has reportedly abandoned a plan to cut $3.5 billion from the State Department and U.S. aid allocated for foreign aid after an outcry by a number of congressional leaders. The $3.5 billion was said to be unnecessary, and the administration had intended to return it to the Treasury by year's end. A number of senators opposed the idea, though some said they weren't clear what legal option they had to stop it. The Office of Management and Budget told the Senate on Tuesday that they don't intend to go forward with the plan, though there has been no elaboration from the administration on exactly how the decision was made. Since the initial announcement, the U.S. withdrew $300 million from aid funding earmarked for Syria and another $200 million for the Palestinians. In both of those cases, the funding was said to be moved into the General State Department funds to be spent elsewhere. This may be considered distinct from the $3.5 billion, where the money was not intended to be respent at all. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? Will anybody care? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports the Department of Justice rebuked Harvard University on Thursday while weighing in on a federal lawsuit alleging the school is biased against admitting Asian Americans. The case's plaintiffs, a group of students called Students for Fair Admissions, filed a suit in 2014 alleging Harvard intentionally discriminates against Asian American applicants when making admissions decisions. The plaintiffs seek relief from Harvard's alleged discrimination under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Civil Rights Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, or national origin in programs and activities that receive federal financial assistance. In a statement on its filing on the side of the plaintiffs on Thursday, the DOJ argued that Harvard had failed to show it does not discriminate against Asian Americans. The department said plaintiffs have offered compelling evidence of discrimination against Asian Americans and should be allowed to prove their claims at trial. The DOJ's statement on its filing said that Harvard has attempted to racially balance its student body and called it patently unconstitutional. Harvard has denied the allegations repeatedly repeatedly saying it follows guidance from the Supreme Court dating back to the 1970s and says the suit is part of an ideological campaign to overturn Supreme Court's affirmative action rulings. The federal lawsuit, likely to be tried in October, could become the next test on whether the Supreme Court is willing to overturn decades of precedent on affirmative action. The Supreme Court has affirmed the practice multiple times, including most recently in 2016 in a suit challenging admission policies at the University of Texas.
You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com.
Reuters reports California lawmakers on Thursday passed a bill requiring hospitals, healthcare facilities, and prisons to offer plant-based meals, saying that even inmates deserve to have healthy and ethical meal choices. The legislation, SB 1138, which passed overwhelmingly, allows patients and prisoners to choose a non-meat option at every meal, regardless of whether they are doing so for health, environmental, or personal reasons. The measure, sponsored by State Senator Nancy Skimmer of Berkeley, still requires approval from Governor Jerry Brown to become law. Brown has not said whether he will sign the bill or not. According to the Assembly Appropriations Committee, the bill would result in minor costs to California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation to prepare a plan to implement the provisions of plant-based meals on an overall cost-neutral basis. Skinner said in a written statement, by guaranteeing access to plant-based foods, SB 1138 respects the health, ethical, and diet choices of those in hospitals or other institutions who don't have the options to prepare their own meals. The lawmaker said serving a plant-based meal was also good for their environment, citing a 2014 study in the journal Climatic Change that vegetarian diets were associated with a reduction in food-related greenhouse gas emissions. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Did you know that 35% of high school girls report that they've only had sex with one or two partners a year, instead of having the living shit out of them by any guy they see?
Did you know that only half of all 17-year-old males report without a condom, even though it's really the only way to go?
There are thousands of American teenagers today who are unaware of the full benefits of your brains out all day, every day. These otherwise average high schoolers haven't been taught about every chance you get, pounding each other dry, and never ever pulling out. Every sexually active high school student should know this stuff. Ditch the condoms, because it's always better raw. Stop worrying about STDs. Every chance you get. Just keep and strangers, doesn't matter who. And most importantly, be direct with your partner about how badly you want to their brains out.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want. Just dial in toll free and take control of the airwaves here at 855-450 free. We're going to give you a little bit of good news. I mean, it's not good that a cop murdered somebody, but it's good that a cop actually got convicted of murdering somebody, because it's happened so many times that police have hurt peaceful people and gotten away with murder, gotten away with arson, gotten away with rape, gotten away with all kinds of horrible behavior.
Right.
And had the departments back them up on it, say, oh, nope, looks like everything was followed by the book here. Whatever the circumstances, however horrific and obviously bad these cops might be, it's very rare that they will even be brought up on charges in the first place. And second, if they are actually brought up on charges, very rare for a jury to actually find them guilty. But Darryl, you have a story about this.
Yeah, story out of Texas from earlier this week, where a jury found former police officer Roy Oliver guilty of murder in the shooting death of 15-year-old Jordan Edwards. Oliver, who was fired from the Balch Springs Police Department.
Also unusual.
Yes, it is. Days after the shooting, which is even more unusual. Faces life in prison after being found guilty of murder for firing his rifle into a car carrying 5 unarmed teens as they left a house party in April 2017. The shooting killed Jordan, who was a passenger in the car. Jordan's father, Odell Edwards, said, "I'm happy, very happy. It's been a long time, a hard year, but I'm really happy." The jury also found Oliver not guilty on 2 charges of aggravated assault. Jurors had the option to find Oliver guilty of manslaughter, which carries a lesser punishment of up to 20 years in prison, but ultimately decided to convict on murder. Attorney Darryl Washington said the verdict was a symbolic victory for all unarmed black people who have been shot and killed by police. After the verdict, he said, "This is about Tamir Rice. It's about Walter Scott. It's about Alton Sterling. It's about every African-American, every unarmed African-American who has been killed and who has not gotten justice."
How about all the other people who aren't African-Americans who've been killed and not gotten justice? Those people are important, too.
Everybody's important.
They are. Yeah. But, there's a lot more stories about unarmed black people getting killed by police that make the national media.
That's true.
Yeah, statistically, I think it is.
But the police will kill anybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was the Aussie woman that wound up getting shot and killed by police in, where was it? Minneapolis?
Florida? Oh, yeah, Minneapolis. That's right.
Where she was going out to meet the cops because she had called about, some kind of dispute. She thought somebody was being assaulted or raped. And the cop apparently feared for his life that somebody would go to greet the police officers, and he fired from inside the car.
Right.
Wow.
And killed this woman. In this case, jurors deliberated for about 12 hours on Monday and Tuesday and asked the judge several questions about Oliver's testimony and why he decided to fire his weapon at a car full of teenagers. They also sent 2 notes to the judge, one asking for a transcript of some of Oliver's testimony to settle a dispute over whether Oliver said the sound of glass breaking factored into his decision to shoot, and a second request asking for a copy of written statements that Oliver provided after the shooting. The second request was denied. Oliver and a second officer, Tyler Gross, were breaking up a house party on April 29th, 2017, when they heard gunshots, which were later determined to have come from a nearby nursing home and not at all related to the party that they were breaking up. Gross attempted to stop a Chevy Impala that had Jordan, his brothers, and friends when Oliver fired into the car, striking Jordan in the back of the head. Oliver testified that he fired his rifle because he believed the vehicle was trying to run over Gross, his partner. Gross, however, testified that he did not think that the car was trying to hit him at all.
Whoa. So the cop his partner actually broke ranks and told the truth?
Yes.
That's unheard of.
Because this is a classic cop excuse of, I thought he was going to hurt me. I thought he was going to run me down. This has been used before.
I thought he was going to run over my partner.
Right.
Regularly.
Right. But either the variant on a very, very popular excuse, and all the cop really has to do is be somewhere in the vicinity of the front of the car. Not even if he's in front of the car, but sort of in an area in which the car could turn and hit him. Because obviously if he's behind the car, then it wouldn't hold water. But if the guy was off to the front and up sort of to the left of the car, to where if the car continued moving forward, it would never hit the other guy, that's usually enough of an excuse for the cop to just blast away at the driver and claim that he was going to hit my partner.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned about the car being in front of, because there was video of this.
Wow.
And a video expert said that the first 2 shots came after the car had already passed Gross, and the final shots, the final 3, came after the car had passed Oliver. So Oliver is the guy that said, I was protecting Officer Gross. Every shot came after the car had driven past Officer Gross, including 3 shots that came after the car had passed Officer Oliver.
Jeez.
Gross said, yeah, I did think that the vehicle was close to me, but I was not in fear that the vehicle was trying to run me over.
Wow. Well, an actual cop who's not a scaredy cop.
Jordan's brother, Vidal Allen, was driving and also testified that he was not trying to hit Gross and said that he did not know that the officer was trying to stop his car. So apparently the cop was just somewhere near the car, may have yelled something, but didn't wave his hands in a stop motion.
So You know what? I'm not a expert on shooting at cars, okay? But it would seem to me that
you'd want to take out a tire instead of take out the driver
That's what I'm
the
thinking.
passengers.
And here's why. Because, okay, even if the other officer was in front of the car, right? Like if this car actually was a danger to the other officer, if it continued on its current trajectory, if you shoot a tire, isn't that more likely going to slow the car or at least cause it to veer in a different direction as opposed to shooting the driver who, when you shoot him, presumably in some sort of damaging fashion, it connects with him, he may actually lay his foot further down on the gas and or continue
and lose control of the car, and you don't know which way he's going to wind up slumping and causing the steering wheel to go.
Yeah. So it would seem to me that if you're going to have an unpredictable thing happen, you're better off like letting some air out of a tire or something.
Did it say that he was even trying to shoot at the driver? Like, was there?
No, it wasn't the driver. The driver, well, maybe he was shooting at the driver.
Who he was shooting at?
He didn't connect with the driver. He
was
connected
shooting
with the other guy
at the car,
the vehicle,
just in general. But if
5 shots. One of them
with a rifle.
killing
It
one
said
of
he
the
had a
passengers.
rifle.
Yes.
So it's not just a handgun.
Yeah.
With a handgun, you're not going to be particularly accurate. But with a rifle, you certainly have much more increased accuracy over. He could have taken a shot at a tire if he wanted to.
Could have.
Yeah.
We're also not sure how well he was trying to aim.
Yeah.
Just
firing bullets
at the car.
Yep.
They'll
Crazy.
stop if I wind up shooting.
They did stop. What else is there? Is there more to the story?
That's it.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
So this guy's been found guilty by the jury.
Yes.
Sentencing has not yet occurred. I didn't catch that detail.
Yeah, sentencing has not yet occurred according to the article. They don't specify when the sentencing is going to happen.
Well, I got one to follow that one up, Darryl.
All right.
Spotted this one. I think it was actually posted in our news show prep group on our Discord chat. So if you go to our Discord over at discord.lrn.fm. I've been getting some great prep from our listeners there on Discord, so thank you guys for submitting this stuff. And kudos to the Free Thought Project here, who they appear to be doing the best work these days for police accountability stories, because copblock.org is basically a dead site. There was another police accountability site, I think Killed by Cops was what it was called, that was shut down recently as well. Headline: Watch. Woman secretly records cop trying to force her to give him sexual favors to drop charges. And she got this cop good. There's more coming up here in moments. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here. This is Free Talk Live.
This November, I'll be running the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. So far in 2018, the Innocence Network has welcomed 32 wrongfully convicted people home from prison for crimes they did not commit and had a record-breaking 850 people unite in Memphis at their annual conference. The movement of freeing the innocent and reforming the criminal justice system is growing and would not be possible without your support. Together as 68 network organizations around the world, they've helped exonerate 513 people who spent a combined total of 7,804 years in prison. They've also worked together to pass over 150 laws in the U.S. to help prevent wrongful convictions. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save AT Purse.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, we've got Discord. The Discord on-air call-in line rooms are available to you. Just hop in any old one of them there over at discord.lrn.fm, and we will join you, and you'll get on the air with us, sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio. And in the studio, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Darryl.
Liberty.menu, great tool for the libertarian, voluntarist, liberty-loving anarchist community. If you're an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, then you belong on Liberty.menu. Not just as a user, but as a contributor, as somebody who creates content on that site. It's a business directory. So whatever it is that you do, whether it is you're creating great privacy-oriented computer hardware, as you do, Chris, over at thinkpenguin.com. I think you told us that you're on Liberty.menu.
I am, yeah.
And
my company is anyway.
Right? I've got a couple entries up there on Liberty.menu as well. I've listed the cryptocurrency vending machines here in the Keene area.
Nice.
It's an international map, though. It's not just for New Hampshire. This is for people, anybody who's a libertarian anywhere. You can add your thing that you do, or more than one thing. So if you've got more than one business, more than one entrepreneurial activity, maybe you're an events coordinator, you're creating an event or a convention or a camping festival or something like that, you can put that up there because there's an events category. And there's also a digital media category as well. So if you're a creator of some sort, whether it's business or media or events, get it up there over at Liberty.menu. It's free to use the site, so there's no reason not to get the exposure unless for some reason you don't want people to know that you care about freedom. So head over to Liberty.menu. If you want, you can use code FTL on your user profile to get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. Liberty.menu. So I was out last night for the first, the beginning weekend of the college year, the first semester here in this particular year of college that is kicking off here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. The weather's still warm during the daytime and it's starting to cool down a bit.
How was it at night though?
I was actually in a t-shirt and shorts last night. So it's probably going to be
summer weather.
It's probably going to be the only weekend I'll be able to get away with that from here on out, because it usually gets pretty cold pretty fast once August is is done with. But I was out down by the college neighborhood, and for those that don't know, we live in Keene, New Hampshire, which is a college town. There's a college with a relatively small population, maybe 4,000 to 6,000. I don't know what the official numbers are, but I have heard Vincent, who's one of our occasional co-hosts and the host of Questioning Authority, he said he's heard they dropped their attendance by 1,000 people.
Wow.
Which is a huge drop for what was initially a relatively small school.
4,000 would make sense. I thought it was 5,000. So if it was 5,000 in the past years, 4,000.
Which is a 20% drop
that would make sense.
in attendance. Yeah. If those numbers are accurate, and I don't have any official numbers.
The school was having lots of problems with
That's true.
I forget what the details were, but yeah, they were.
They have all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
But either way, there's still young people going, and that means there's a fresh batch of new young people, freshmen who've arrived to go to the school, and that means that they need to know their rights. So I have the cop block warning police threat in effect flyer with all kinds of good information on it, like record your interaction, ask if you're being detained, if not, leave. Don't answer questions, never consent to searches, and be polite but firm. These are the 5 bullet points, which are described in greater detail on these cards. You can see them for yourself over at tools.freekeene.com if you want to download it and check it out, which reminds me, I actually just updated it for 2018, so I probably should update the website version of that as well. So we're getting some fresh ones printed out for the college students. But it was a great night. I had a lot of positive response. Didn't get any real negative response from anybody. Most of the college students are very interested in knowing their rights. They didn't learn them in high school. The government schools don't teach you about your rights. They might teach you in history class something about the Constitution at some point. But they don't really talk about your rights, how to interact with the police, how to keep yourself safe.
And if you watch CSI, you have the right to remain silent, a right to an attorney, a right to a phone call.
Some of them knew those.
I've heard more people tell me I have no rights in school, and
really,
even cops than I've ever heard anybody educate me on rights. I learned them, but not because of school.
Not because of school.
Yeah.
I actually had that happen to me too. I had a school principal tell me straight up that I had no right to freedom of speech.
Yeah, which is wrong, actually.
When you're here, you got no rights.
That's right.
It's not correct, technically.
Speaking of that accent, so I just wanted to give a little bit of good news here for police accountability here in the Keene area, where we're trying our best to keep Cop Block alive. The Cop Block National Organization is basically a shell of what it once was. I wouldn't even call it an organization at this point, and it's hard for me to say as the person who has Cop Block badge number 5, right? So they have the Cop Block badges, and I got number 5 because I was there in the very beginning when the Cop Block founders were living here in Keene, and they have since both left, and they've gone off on completely different paths in life, and I, of course, wish them the best, but I feel like if they hadn't left, we would still have an even more solid group here in New Hampshire, and New Hampshire would be like the beacon for police accountability out there. Unfortunately, as tends to happen with organizations, once they grow to a certain point, there becomes infighting, and then people want to get away from that infighting, and then ultimately what happened was that Damo Freeman basically burnt out, as is also something that's common with activists, is they get tired after a while, and he put in a good 10 years of his life basically into doing police accountability activism, was arrested a number of times for a variety of different victimless crimes in that time frame, and so you can't blame somebody for wanting to throw in the towel. You just can't blame somebody for that. 10 years is great. He did a lot of good work, and there was a lot of good coverage that happened on Cop Block. But it's sad when such a great thing is created, and there's not somebody to pass the torch to. There's not somebody waiting in the wings to be the main person, the leader of that particular organization. And sadly, in the case of Cop Block, even though there were a number of volunteers over the years, and even though at the time when Ademo wanted to get out of the site, there were still people who were blogging actively.
There were people still doing it even after he left.
Yeah, and there still are.
There still are.
I have posted. I still have posting access to Cop Block, but I was never a prolific poster to begin with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to keep the site alive. I'm not going to keep it afloat with any regular content. I would call myself an irregular poster at best. My last post to Cop Block was in June, at around when we did the police checkpoint, the patrol or the border patrol checkpoint that we went through.
Oh yeah.
Or you didn't go through it. It was Bob.
I didn't. I missed it.
We tried to wait for you, but we had to go.
I know.
And apparently there have been like 3 or 4 more of those in the last month.
Oh, they're busy out there. So yeah, anybody that wants to get checkpoint footage, just go on up to Woodstock, New Hampshire, and wait around. They'll set one up probably within a couple of weeks. But that was the last post there was to copblock.org was in June.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's shadow of its former self. It still exists, but I don't know what the sort of the preeminent police accountability group like in real life is these days. It might still be Cop Block, simply because I don't know if anybody else has really challenged it. Maybe Cop Watch is still out there doing their thing. I'm not sure about that. But we're going to get into a horrible story by the folks over at the Free Thought Project, who've been doing great online reporting on police accountability and bad behaving cops. And this is about a Georgia cop. Monroe County Sheriff's Deputy Bill Miller recorded earlier this month on a woman's cell phone, epitomizing everything wrong with sickos in uniforms who seek to abuse their authority for personal gain. And we'll give you the details, and they are dirty. Coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
If you like alkaline water, or know someone that does, you're going to love the Dylan Living Water Bottle. It creates alkaline water on the go while reducing plastic waste and saving you money. Made with surgical-grade stainless steel, the Dylan bottle increases the pH up to 9 to deliver both alkaline and antioxidant water anywhere you want it. Alkaline water is healthier, tastes better, and can even boost energy. The Dylan bottle makes it easy and affordable to be healthy and achieve optimal hydration. Get your Dylan bottle today at byln.co. That's byln.co.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We got a creepy to the maximum cop situation coming up here to tell you about out of Forsyth, Georgia, Monroe County, and a particular deputy who got caught on video being a very, very naughty police officer. We're going to
not as naughty as he wanted to be.
Right. We're going to tell you about that coming up here in moments. And if you want to join us, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live brought to you by Bitcoin.com. And Bitcoin.com would like to remind you about Save It Purse and how you can now deposit Bitcoin Cash into your Save It Purse account, which means that you can get huge discounts on Amazon purchases. 20%? No problem. 25%? Pretty easy to get that too. 29%? That's what I got the last, I think, 4 purchases I made at. Nice. Through Save It Purse. SaveAtPurse.com, SaveAtPurse.com. You can use Bitcoin Cash. You can also use Bitcoin BTC if you want it, but Bitcoin Cash is now the new thing there over at Save It Purse, and you can save big time. It's for real. Like, we've done this. Oh, yeah. All of us have done this on multiple occasions. Chris, you've done it probably thousands of times.
I've done it so many times, I don't even tell you how much I've saved because I'm afraid of going to jail.
You know, you can look it up, though. They actually have that statistic.
Yeah, I know.
I think I've saved a few $1,000 at this point on the things that I bought over the last few years.
Yeah. I've probably saved close to 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done at least 130, probably close to 150 transactions at this point. It's so useful. It works so well. Go learn more at SaveAtPurse.com. And again, it's all brought to you by Bitcoin.com. We're talking about police accountability. And of course, the number one trick or the number one tip for police accountability action is to record. Record. Even if it's just audio, record it. Of course, if you can get video, that's even better because then it's even more damning when somebody does or says something, in this case, a police officer. Monroe County Sheriff's Deputy Bill Miller is reported by the freethoughtproject.com. He was recorded earlier this month on a woman's cell phone, epitomizing everything wrong with sickos in uniforms who seek to abuse their authority for personal gain. His victim, recorded him trying to force her to give him sexual favors in return for getting her DUI charges dropped. And this deputy is still collecting a paycheck. So again, unlike, the one story you shared earlier, Darryl, where a cop actually got found guilty for murder, most of the time they get a raise.
What's the state of here?
What's that?
State?
Georgia.
Georgia, okay.
Ashley Roberts was arrested last month by Officer Miller for driving under the influence and drug possession. Roberts admitted she had done the crime and was willing to do the time. However, after she made bail, Miller contacted the 34-year-old woman and told her to meet him in a parking lot on August 14th. So she did. Now, by the way, before we go on with the story, if a cop calls you and asks you to meet him somewhere, well, this isn't legal advice, but my understanding is you're not obligated to do that.
I will not be speaking with you without my lawyer present.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally a bad idea, and this is, again, I've got my list of police know your rights
Super
here.
bad idea.
On number 3, do not answer questions. So if a cop wants to meet with you, he's probably going to want to ask you questions. So there's really no point in meeting with him.
Oh, he asked her some questions.
Yeah. As Fox 5 Atlanta reports, she told internal affairs investigators the same story she told us. Miller put her in his personal Dodge Ram pickup truck, handed her a Coors Light. That doesn't sound too legal now, does it? I don't think you're allowed to have an open container in most states while you're in a car. And drove.
Oh, don't worry, it was in a brown bag.
And drove them to a dirt trail off of Freeman Road. She says, I didn't think I had to record anything until I got to that dirt road. After I turned on the dirt road, that's when I knew something was fishy. Yeah, that's definitely a clue.
Yeah.
As the recording shows, after Miller drove the woman down the dirt road, the sexual advances immediately began. The deputy said, "You can come over here. I'm not going to jump on you, I promise."
Because I'm wearing my seatbelt like a good boy.
She says, I mean, I'm good. I'm all right. She replied to him at the time. That's when the deputy asked her for oral sex. Not even a BJ, he asked. She says, "Nope, I'm just messing with you. I think you'd like it, but..." "No, I'm good," she said. "You probably would like it," the deputy persisted. "I don't know about that," said the terrified Roberts, who didn't know if this cop was about to attempt to rape her or what.
Yeah, I'm going to be afraid of getting murdered.
After she shut down his initial advances, that's when Miller began to flex his blue privilege in an attempt to blackmail Roberts into sex by offering to, quote, "talk to the DA," unquote. He said, "That's the whole reason I gave you that beer." Oh, see, he gave you the beer. Now you need to give him sex. Roberts replied. He says, "It's leverage," said the corrupt cop. "Oh, and what leverage would that be?" she asked. "Well, I got another unit over there," he said, claiming that he could have her arrested again if she didn't submit to his requests.
Wow.
She says, "So what are you trying to do? Are you trying to blackmail me or something?" "Yeah," replied the deputy. She says, "Oh, well, it ain't gonna work," Roberts said. "It won't?" Miller asked. "No," replied Roberts. "I'm just messing with you," said the deputy.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just trying to blackmail you and get you in an open container and, have you do these things that I had nobody do to me in quite a few years.
Right.
But
it's just a joke.
It's just all in good fun. You don't want to go to prison, do you?
On the recording, so this is obviously, highlights here.
A 19-minute
a 19-minute long recording.
According to Fox Atlanta.
Miller is heard asking her to show her breasts over 10 times. After turning him down all 10 times, Miller finally concedes and begins to drive the woman back to her vehicle in the parking lot, but not before one last futile attempt. The deputy said after his blackmail attempt was met with rejection, "I really didn't want to have sex with you. I was just effing with you.
I'm just messing with you.
I just called you all the way out here to this parking lot and then took you down a dirt road and propositioned you because I was just screwing around. It was just a silly game.
It was just a test. It was a test.
You passed.
Congratulations. To see if you would compromise yourself.
Yeah. As bad as all this is, I have to give the cop credit. At least he didn't actually rape her. And it's blackmail.
Okay.
Hey, it's bad. It's bad. But technically, he didn't rape her and he didn't kill her, which is what I would have expected.
You are looking on the bright side here.
Yeah.
And then he added a little bit more. He said, "I mean, I would, because you're not a bad-looking girl. You just need to straighten your ass out."
And I can straighten it out for you.
Roberts told Fox 5 the deputy picked the wrong girl. She said, "I'm not that type of girl. I'm a good girl. I just hang out with the wrong crowd." The deputy then told Roberts to toss the can of beer out on the roadside, and they drove off. So actually telling her to,
you just go ahead and litter right over there.
Wow.
Just go ahead. Throw it out the window.
As Fox 5 reports, quote, "On the recording, you can hear Deputy Miller tell Roberts it's okay to toss that Coors Light out the passenger window before they left the dirt trail. The Fox 5 I-team followed the path and searched the woods. Sure enough, we spotted a Coors Light can still in its paper bag."
Wow.
You called it, Darryl, with a receipt inside dated August 14th. It also had the buyer's debit card number. We used a stick to pull out the receipt. Later, we gave investigators directions so they could recover the can and any fingerprints that might still be on it. We approached Deputy Miller as he came on duty last Friday night. He said he didn't remember Ashley Roberts.
I remember no Ashley.
And denied offering to get her charges dropped in exchange for sexual favors. Remember, if the cop says he's going to talk to the DA, that don't mean your charges are getting dropped.
Right.
He refused our offer to let him hear the recording of the two of them.
Can we refresh your memory, Officer Miller? No, I'm good.
Fine. Get out of my way.
I don't want to have sex with you. You would. You're an attractive woman there over at Fox 5 Atlanta, but I'm just messing with you.
We are shocked and disappointed, said Monroe County Interim Sheriff Al Shackelford. Law enforcement, he said, should be held to a higher standard, unquote. However, instead of arresting the officer for using his badge to blackmail a woman into having sex with him, the sheriff put Miller on
vacation.
With
benefits?
Paid.
With pay.
That's paid vacation.
He's on a paid vacation.
Right. When you get paid, it's vacation.
So he can think real hard on what he done.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. That's AnyPay.global.
Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original, most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Joining you tonight, it's Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
We also have the Discord chat rooms and the Discord on-air call-in lines over at discord.lrn.fm. You'll sound almost like you're with us here in the studio if you get on those Discord lines. Discord.lrn.fm. What is Discord? It's a chat server. It is a open sort of free chat server where you can go in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners. The best time to find people during Free Talk Live from 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time in the Free Talk Live channel. But at other times during the day and the night, there's people in different channels talking about different things. And sometimes they're in the voice channel. Most of the time they're in the text channels. Head on over there to discord.lrn.fm. You do need the Discord app in order to use, I think, the voice portion of the program. But if you just want to kind of check out the chat server aspect, you can use their web version for free over at discord.lrn.fm. All right, so we were talking about a corrupt cop who actually got busted pretty good by the lady who he had invited out after arresting her for a DUI. He invited her out to a dark parking lot, where he then took her down a darker dirt road, and she realized at the time when the dirt road started happening that she should probably record this.
I have to wonder what is somebody thinking when they meet a cop in a parking lot and then get into his personal vehicle? Like, what are they thinking? What's going through their head?
Don't know, because it doesn't seem like anything really positive is going to happen in those circumstances.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's interesting that she did get in the vehicle, because if she hadn't gotten in, we wouldn't have had the 19-minute-long video in which the officer tries at least 10 times
to get video, or is it just audio?
It's a cell phone video. I have not watched the actual video myself, but we've got Fox 5 and Fox 5 News and FreeThoughtProject.com who's done us the favor of kind of taking out the lowlights, if you will, of
the Free Thought Project. Basically, they reposted the Fox article in slightly different order and added a little bit of commentary.
Yes.
So I don't know if they've actually seen the video. And Fox doesn't mention that the video is available online anywhere. It says that they watched the video.
I see. So Fox may have been given a special delivery on
right.
This.
So, woman, it sounds like, wound up calling Fox on your side, whatever. Hey, I've got a journalistic scoop for you. Can you help me expose this guy?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Fox piece here, and it doesn't appear that they're linking to... Yeah, it doesn't appear they link to the video itself. But, of course, nothing has been done to this particular deputy. He is still on the job, although he has been put on paid suspension while some sort of investigation is going on. Whether they'll end up giving him a firing for this or not's another question, but as the Free Thought Project points out in the end of their piece, is a lot of times when a cop actually does get fired, frequently they get hired by another department in the same state. Right. So unless they end up getting blackballed across the board, which is also very hard to accomplish, they'll just get another job as a cop somewhere else. And that will never make a newspaper headline when that happens.
Right.
Because the cops don't usually make big announcements when they make hirings. And so odds are most people wouldn't even know this particular cop was hired, and wherever across Georgia happens to be from, wherever this was, Monroe County.
Not sure where that is, but if Fox Atlanta is reporting on it, it's probably not too far from Atlanta.
Could be. So if you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here.
Now, one thing that would be interesting, and I remember somebody several years ago when Cop Block was still a fairly large organization, somebody had the idea of calling up some small police departments, particularly in states that don't have very strict wiretapping laws.
Yep.
And recording a conversation where you pretend to be one of these officers that was fired for something, and you say, yeah, my name is, what's this guy, Billy?
Deputy Bill Miller.
My name's Billy Miller, and I just lost my job because apparently some woman had some video of me asking to see her boobies, and I was curious if y'all were hiring and if y'all have a problem with that.
Just to get their response, like, it's all right, Officer Miller, just come on down and fill out an application.
I just lost my job because I shot somebody's puppy dog. I was trying to shoot the 5-year-old kid, but that dang dog just jumped right in front of it. Y'all got a problem? Like, how can I apply at your department there?
That would be very interesting if somebody did do that. But you have to wonder in these circumstances, was this Deputy Miller's first time trying this move? Or has he done this before to young ladies that he has arrested and met them in the parking lot?
Oh, it probably wasn't his first rodeo, as they would say.
That's what I tend to think. I mean, this cop, I don't know how old he is, but he's probably significantly older than this woman. Just looking at him, he appears like he's probably in his 50s. She is 34. Yeah, it doesn't say here. I'm looking at the Fox story, and it doesn't say what the age of the officer in question is. But I'm just going to guess. I'm going to say at least 50.
Oh, well, there's an update.
Oh, is there?
Here from Fox Atlanta. Agents with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation arrested and charged a Monroe County Sheriff's deputy on Thursday. Days after a Fox 5 I-Team investigation revealed a secret recording of him trying to blackmail a suspect into having sex.
This was Georgia Department of Law Enforcement?
Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
Okay.
So basically the Georgia version of the FBI. The arrest came after the sheriff's office fired Miller following an internal investigation. So apparently, after his little paid vacation,
he got fired.
He did lose his job, and now he's going to the pokey.
Well, this is why it's really good to have video and audio of any kind of encounter with police.
It would have changed everything if she didn't.
This is routine stuff. I mean, like, they really mess up a lot, but it's really hard to get them fired. So if you have something like this, an encounter like this,
and frequently it is sexual related issues that get cops fired. I mean, we've been reporting on these bad cops for so long here on Free Talk Live. I can't count the number of times it's been a violent act that the cops have been kept on board with, like murder or rape or something. Well, not rape, but murder, or shooting a gas grenade into a baby's crib, and shooting dogs to death. They get kept on whenever that stuff happens almost every time. But if a cop mows his lawn in his underwear, he gets fired for that.
Remember the one where the
that
cop
happened?
The cop hooked up with the porn star and wound up showing up on her porn channel, and he wound up losing his job.
I don't remember that one, but that's pretty funny.
He was on duty when it happened. I think in the squad car.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of these bad cops, they do bad things, but the things that you'll catch them on are not necessarily the things that they're going to get fired for. So often if there's an investigation that occurs as a result of, a cop doing something not as bad, they'll find, they'll end up finding something else, like information that doesn't quite match, like phone calls and things like that. And then it will end up leading to, people being raped and all sorts of other crimes. That are fireable.
Dean, he's on the line with us here. Dean in Warwick, New York. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, there's a site on human trafficking.
And you're gone. And you're dumped. So, goodbye, buddy. That particular caller is not allowed on the air here on Free Talk Live, and I'm not going to continue explaining it every single time it happens, because I've explained it enough now. There's only one person who is not allowed on the air, and that's that one. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And we have different board operators, so I don't know how many of them know his voice and are able to detect him and keep him away. But anyway, let's move on here. So we're talking about these cops, dirty cops doing naughty things. In this case, finally getting caught. And I'm going to say finally because I can't imagine this is this cop's first time. He's 50 years old. He's probably been with the department for 30 years or 20 years or whatever. He's probably nearing retirement age because usually you only have to stay in for like 20 years in order to get your pension as a cop in most places I've heard of. And so, not only do you have to wonder how many times has he done this before successfully, also, how many other of the sheriff's deputies there are aware that he's been doing this.
How many other of them are actually doing it too?
And how many others are also doing it as well.
Yeah, and he has not been with this department for quite as long as you'd suspect. Fox 5 says he's only been a law enforcement officer in Georgia since 2014.
Yeah, but where before that?
Right. Well, whatever time he has before that isn't going to count towards retirement because you've got to be in the same department.
Right. But still, if he's been a cop before that, he's been a cop before that and can do this kind of stuff to other victims in other places. All right, more coming up here. Hour number 3 is next. You can take control of the airwaves. It's Free Talk Live.
Let's talk tough. Let's talk comfort. Let's talk about down-home value. Made in the USA blue jeans, like you wore as a kid. Remember?
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
For good old-fashioned comfort, get Diamond Gusset jeans. Every stitch guaranteed. And our Defender motorcycle jean comes Kevlar reinforced. See them at GUSSET.com, that's gusset.com, or call 888-848-7738. That's 888-848-7738. Diamond Gusset jeans got it, others don't.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io. The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, August 31st, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.59 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,203 per ounce. Zen is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,922. Antiwar.com reports the Trump administration has reportedly abandoned a plan to cut $3.5 billion from the State Department and U.S. aid allocated for foreign aid after an outcry by a number of congressional leaders. The $3.5 billion was said to be unnecessary, and the administration had intended to return it to the Treasury by year's end. A number of senators opposed the idea, though some said they weren't clear what legal option they had to stop it. The Office of Management and Budget told the Senate on Tuesday that they don't intend to go forward with the plan, though there has been no elaboration from the administration on exactly how the decision was made. Since the initial announcement, the U.S. withdrew $300 million from aid funding earmarked for Syria and another $200 million for the Palestinians. In both of those cases, the funding was said to be moved into the General State Department funds to be spent elsewhere. This may be considered distinct from the $3.5 billion, where the money was not intended to be respent at all. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? Will anybody care? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports the Department of Justice rebuked Harvard University on Thursday while weighing in on a federal lawsuit alleging the school is biased against admitting Asian Americans. The case's plaintiffs, a group of students called Students for Fair Admissions, filed a suit in 2014 alleging Harvard intentionally discriminates against Asian American applicants when making admissions decisions. The plaintiffs seek relief from Harvard's alleged discrimination under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Civil Rights Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, or national origin in programs and activities that receive federal financial assistance. In a statement on its filing on the side of the plaintiffs on Thursday, the DOJ argued that Harvard had failed to show it does not discriminate against Asian Americans. The department said plaintiffs have offered compelling evidence of discrimination against Asian Americans and should be allowed to prove their claims at trial. The DOJ's statement on its filing said that Harvard has attempted to racially balance its student body and called it patently unconstitutional. Harvard has denied the allegations repeatedly, saying it follows guidance from the Supreme Court dating back to the 1970s and says the suit is part of an ideological campaign to overturn Supreme Court's affirmative action rulings. The federal lawsuit, likely to be tried in October, could become the next test on whether the Supreme Court is willing to overturn decades of precedent on affirmative action. The Supreme Court has affirmed the practice multiple times, including most recently in 2016 in a suit challenging admission policies at the University of Texas. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. Reuters reports California lawmakers on Thursday passed a bill requiring hospitals, healthcare facilities, and prisons to offer plant-based meals, saying that even inmates deserve to have healthy and ethical meal choices. The legislation, SB 1138, which passed overwhelmingly, allows patients and prisoners to choose a non-meat option at every meal, regardless of whether they are doing so for health, environmental, or personal reasons. The measure, sponsored by State Senator Nancy Skimmer of Berkeley, still requires approval from Governor Jerry Brown to become law. Brown has not said whether he will sign the bill or not. According to the Assembly Appropriations Committee, the bill would result in minor costs to California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation to prepare a plan to implement the provisions of plant-based meals on an overall cost-neutral basis. Skinner said in a written statement, by guaranteeing access to plant-based foods, SB 1138 respects the health, ethical, and diet choices of those in hospitals or other institutions who don't have the options to prepare their own meals. The lawmaker said serving a plant-based meal was also good for their environment, citing a 2014 study in the journal Climatic Change that vegetarian diets were associated with a reduction in food-related greenhouse gas emissions. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
While waiting to interview for a web consultant position with local marketing firm Bizco, applicant Ryan Ehrlich told Onion reporters he wasn't entirely sure he was dynamic enough for his prospective employer.
When I first saw that the agency was looking for a leader willing to contribute as a valued member of the team, I thought I was the perfect fit. But the more I think about it, the less I'm sure I'm actually an energetic self-starter. I mean, I think I'm a versatile independent thinker, but honestly, how do you even know for sure?
Ehrlich, who found Bizco's online job posting earlier this week, went on to express doubts that he truly possesses the forward-thinking instincts and next-generation idea assets required to work with the fast-paced marketing firm's team of self-starters.
Can I reimagine a brand for a digital landscape? Sure, but do I really have the energy, skills, enthusiasm, and passion to be a part of this dynamic, growth-oriented company? I just don't know. Oh God, who am I kidding? there's no way I'm on the cutting edge.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. You, as always, can bring up anything that you want to discuss. Our toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. You can jump in there over at discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Darryl.
So, changing gears here to Bill Cosby. Chris, you've got a story.
Speaking of sexual assaulting people.
Right, we just finished, for those of you just tuning in, we just finished talking about a dirty cop threatening a woman and trying to blackmail her into committing sexual acts with him, which didn't work out too well because she recorded the whole thing and he ended up getting arrested, thank goodness, and losing his job.
Fired, then arrested, yes.
Yeah. So, let's change gears to Bill Cosby, who, as our listeners probably know, is now facing the rest of his life in prison for multiple sexual assault charges that he failed to defend successfully in criminal court.
I don't
What's
know if
the
it's
latest?
been multiple. I mean, one conviction, I think.
Was it only one?
I think it's only been one conviction, yeah.
Okay.
But I could be mistaken.
You may be right about that. There was definitely plenty of allegations.
There were a lot of allegations, and I think that in this criminal case, there was only one allegation that was within the time frame of statute of limitations.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and
so there's, I believe, a civil suit against him as well.
Probably, yeah.
And they're going to have a tough time getting money out of him, apparently, because the allegation is what?
So apparently, Bill Cosby has used Bitcoins, has bought Bitcoin, $500 million worth of Bitcoin.
$500 million worth of Bitcoin.
$500 million, yep.
Wow.
And supposedly it's to keep creditors, government, and his wife from his remaining assets, basically.
Wow.
And the conviction was actually 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault.
Okay. 3 counts.
3 counts.
Interesting.
On the same victim, do we know, or more than one?
That's just the first sentence of an article.
I've got more here.
Yeah,
so,
tell me more. Where's the source, by the way?
So this is from radaronline.com. Okay. And I have to say, I don't know who wrote this article, but it's like, it seems like the most man-hating, biased story I have ever read. But nonetheless, it's still worth reading. So desperate to salvage what's left of his $500 million fortune, Bill Cosby is converting cash into virtual currency so he can keep it away from his creditors, the government, and long-suffering wife, Camille, RadarOnline.com has learned exclusively. He moved close to $5 million in Bitcoin after an expert told him it is practically untraceable and impossible for anyone but him to retrieve.
Well, $5 million is a lot less than $500 million. I just want to point that out.
So the story headline is Bill Cosby using Bitcoin to keep creditors, government, and his wife from $500 million, not $5 million. So
but
again,
then in the story, it claims it's $5.
Yeah, this is very clearly like a gossip outlet of some kind. I'm not familiar with them, but
has an article
cryptocurrency
headline
news?
Right. Headline: Gossip Mag claims Bill Cosby is using Bitcoin to hide his fortune. He's probably not.
Let's get the analysis.
That is the headline.
Let's get their analysis after we hear
I have
this.
to say, this story makes it very interesting. So let's skim through this real quick because there's a lot of good stuff in here. That's just like,
Oh, but before you go on this, whoever this expert was that informed Bill Cosby apparently doesn't know what he's talking about because Bitcoin is not anonymous. It is a public ledger. If it can be used in a sort of anonymous fashion,
pseudo-anonymous,
you'd have to prove an account was associated with an individual somehow before you can.
But how is Bill Cosby buying $5 million worth of Bitcoin?
That's a lot of Bitcoin.
You don't just get on an exchange and drop a $5 million order on, do you? I don't think. I
don't know.
I mean, I don't buy Bitcoin in that quantity, but I've seen exchanges before where, if you make a large purchase of several Bitcoin or a bunch of Bitcoin or something like that, you're going to move the price significantly on the price is going to go up if you're going to be buying Bitcoin.
So maybe that's how the price wound up dropping from like 19,000 was.
It was all Bill Cosby.
I got to get $5 million worth of the Bitcoin and I'm just going to buy it whatever the price.
He probably could have used a middleman though, and not done it all on like let's say at one purchase.
At one time.
So yeah, I mean $5 million. It's a lot, but it's not.
It's not a whole lot.
It's not an unbelievable amount where you.
I mean, Bitcoin's worth $100 billion right now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It wouldn't have the kind of
no, it's not going to move
on the price
market significantly
of Bitcoin. Yeah, the expert said it couldn't be taken in a divorce, bankruptcy, or the government in any liens. Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I suspect they probably.
Well, if they can't get it, they can't take it.
Yeah, but
if they don't know that you own it,
they may know.
They can't take it.
There have been okay, that might be true, but they can physically hold you, and I know that
they're gonna physically hold him.
Physically, yes, true. So in this particular case, it's very unusual, but. In other cases where there wasn't a criminal case involved, they would probably have held him in the divorce situation.
And again,
if he doesn't supply the money where they could prove that he had the money, and even if he does, if they don't prove they had the money, if the judge thinks he has the money, they will hold you potentially.
And again, this is not a statement from a lawyer. This is a statement from somebody that allegedly knows Bill Cosby that said a thing.
Yeah. As Radar has
I heard fill in the blank. Well, you may have heard that. It doesn't mean it's true.
Do they cite their source, or is it an anonymous source?
It's an unnamed insider.
Yeah. Okay. As Radar has reported, the convicted sex fiend owes $25 million in unpaid legal bills for his failed criminal defense, and has taken out mortgages on his New York and California homes to improve his cash flow. But a source inside Cosby's camp revealed the fallen comic has no intention of paying his legal fees.
Why should he at this point?
I mean, the guy has literally basically lost a case that probably he paid enough for, where they should have, even if he was guilty, which, well, I mean, maybe
they should have demanded their fees up front.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he's apparently got the cash for it, right?
Pay now.
What's more, his humiliated wife, Camille, 74, is set to walk out on the Twisted TV sleaze when he goes to prison, and sources said the pervert knows Camille will fight for every nickel in divorce court. Cosby's Bitcoin scheme could also finance a potential escape from justice. This is where it gets really ridiculous.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
According to a fugitive expert,
who we won't cite.
Yeah, of course not. To me, it raises a huge red flag.
Janitor.
Said Frank Ahim, author of How to Disappear. Oh, they do cite him.
Okay.
It's actually interesting because this is actually the kind of arguments that they really will make, prosecutors will make in court.
What's he saying? What's he the author of? I'm sorry.
How to Disappear.
Okay.
So I guess it's a book.
I've heard of that book.
I have also heard of that book.
Yeah. Cryptocurrency has decreased in value, and you'd have to be crazy to buy Bitcoin now. But it's a great tool if you're planning an escape. He could basically have a middleman in another country receive the money. He just need to go there to collect it. The sicko was convicted on April 26th.
Okay, stop. Okay. First of all, the advice here, you don't know what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Yeah, the price is down compared to December, but it's up compared to a year ago.
Right.
And so whether now is a good time or not to buy is completely up to you. I'm not going to make any investment advice. I don't know enough about investing, and I don't think anybody knows what the future of Bitcoin is going to be. But the trend in Bitcoin has been to go up in value over time, even though there may be some downward slumps at times. Overall, it has gone up. And the idea of this middleman?
Yeah.
No, mister. It doesn't work like that. So maybe this author needs to do a little bit of research here. When you have Bitcoin, you don't have to give it to a middleman who's waiting in another country to then give it back to you or whatever once you actually get there. The Bitcoin is yours. It's on the blockchain. You have the keys to that Bitcoin, and you can access it from anywhere in the world as long as you have an internet connection. Now, of course, that's presuming Cosby's going to try to leave the United States, and I imagine that they've revoked his passport and would make it very difficult if he showed up in any airport.
I think he's currently on some kind of house arrest because the prosecution made the argument that he was a flight risk.
You better believe he's a flight risk.
They're going to, and you're going to spend the rest of your days in jail, they automatically assume you're a flight risk.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him for trying. He's going to likely die in jail, so you might as well go ahead and, pack yourself across the border or something like that.
As much publicity as his case and all has gotten, I'm shocked if the guy, if he was innocent, I suspect they'd still find him guilty.
You think?
I think so.
Just because of all the allegations?
There's so many allegations. The whole thing seemed like it was stacked against him from the outside. No, I haven't followed it at all, mind you, but maybe there's some really solid evidence. But
let's talk more about this. We got more from the original article, and then Darryl, you've got a follow-up analysis piece from an actual cryptocurrency news reporting organization. There's more coming up here in moments. 8:55, 450, free if you want to join us.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
A new report from the Department of Health and Human Services urges Americans to do something, anything at all. According to the study, getting off your ass and doing any sort of physical or mental activity could have positive health effects.
Look, we're not expecting you to go to the gym. That's clearly not happening. Just walk outside for a few blocks and then come back home. You can bring potato chips if that's what it'll take.
For many years, the health department has encouraged Americans to watch less TV, but this report reverses that, saying, quote, watch whatever the hell you want, but at least pay attention and remember who the characters are, or just admire the colors. Colors are pretty. It's expected that following the advice in this report will cut down on the largest cause of death among Americans, laying on your back until your mouth fills up with saliva and you drown. Following the report's release, the most popular exercise now seems to be masturbating, but researchers warn that if you do it in public, stick to the sidewalk or you might get hit by cars.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free, bring up anything you want to discuss. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The crypto tip is now available in Bitcoin Cash. We've talked about the crypto tip here on Free Talk Live. CryptoTip.org is where you can go and you can print out printed business card sized tips in either Bitcoin Cash or Dash. So you decide which crypto you want to use, and you can decide which amount you want the tip to be, $10 worth, $20 worth, $15, whatever. You can print out as many of them as you want. You can do it for no cost, by the way. There's an option to tip to the website, but you can set that to 0 if you just want to try it out and see how it works. So it's totally free if you want to print up your Bitcoin Cash tips over at CryptoTip.org. You can then leave them in places in which you would normally tip on top of your normal tip. That way people will pay attention and take you seriously rather than feel like you've insulted them because they don't know what it is that this thing is. You're trying to help people learn, so you want them to look at it and seriously consider it. So leave it on top of a good cash tip as a bonus on top of that. And it's fully trackable, meaning that when you put your email address in when you sign up, if somebody cashes in one of your tips or redeems one of the tips, you'll get an email, give you a heads up.
Yep.
And you can even take notes on the tips page. When you create the tips, there's a page where you can leave a note for each tip that you've printed up. So you could say, oh, I left this tip for Sheila, the waitress at Friendly's, on this day or whatever. And then when Sheila actually redeems the tip, if she does, you'll get an email and you can go and check and you say, oh yeah, it was Sheila. And then the next time you're in at Friendly's, you can talk to Sheila and say, hey, how'd it go, with your cryptocurrency? Do you have any questions or whatever? You can follow up with them.
And then she might say, oh, I gave it to the guy that works in the kitchen because he likes crypto.
Yeah, and she might say that. And we've had things like that happen here as we've used them a lot here in the Keene area. So go to CryptoTip.org and get started with yours for either Dash or Bitcoin Cash now at CryptoTip.org. So, Chris, you're sharing with us a story here about Bill Cosby allegedly buying Bitcoin, according to an anonymous source.
Allegedly, yeah.
And they
reportedly, he may have, according to a source that we're not saying who.
A source of a source of a source.
And they claim it's $5 million worth is what he's already purchased, claiming that he may be intending to buy more of it in order to avoid having to pay out in a civil case, in order to avoid having to pay out to his wife in a divorce case. Tell us more about the allegations here. And what was the entertainment
site? Radar Online.
Radar Online?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me more.
Yeah, so the sicko was convicted on April 26th of drugging and sexually abusing Andrea Constand in the same Cheltenham, Pennsylvania state, where he's now confined and wearing an ankle bracelet to track his every move. The 81-year-old monster will be sentenced on September 24th and faces up to 30 years behind bars. Is preparing for the worst by hiring a prison consultant. This is actually kind of funny. Consultant to coach him on life in the big house. Yeah, so supposedly this is actually a common thing to occur, where these wealthy people who end up in prison, like they hire
a
people
pro,
to
a con,
like teach them how to
Ex-con.
Deal with the prison.
What is prison like?
Yeah.
If you're rich enough, you can hire somebody to teach you anything.
Yeah.
What's it like to tie shoes? I've never tied my shoes before. I've always had people for that.
This is great news for prisoners. I mean, who are looking to do something when they get out. You could become a prison consultant and
potential job opportunity.
Make some serious money.
You would think. Sources within his inner circle confirmed Cosby locks himself in a makeshift prison cell in his mansion's third-floor attic. Eats prison-style meals prepared by his chef.
BS.
And demands his staff scold him if he goes off schedule.
Again,
that's total BS.
This according to an unnamed source.
No, right. I think this is real. Like this is something that they actually have you do if you hire one of these consultants.
No,
this is not the first time I've heard this. Yeah.
No, I don't believe this. They built a cell that he's spending time in.
Well, to say
and he's eating prison meals.
Wait a minute, hold on. I don't think it say they built a cell. They like made a room or something, like a closet or something. He's supposed to go in or something.
They made something that they are claiming is a makeshift cell.
Yeah. So
and he's eating prison meals. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what that means, but
if I'm sorry, I don't buy that at all. I buy the idea that he's bought some Bitcoin. Okay, that's plausible. That makes
seems
sense.
like less likely than the
I
whole...
think he hired somebody to, hey, Tell me how to wind up not getting shanked the first day I walk into prison.
I think that could be true as well. Like getting advice from a former prisoner, sure. But to fix prison-style meals, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to eat the best damn food you possibly can until you actually have to go to prison.
I think the idea is to prepare one for the psychological impact of being in prison. So it sounds believable to me. He moved a bed, a television, and a table, and a telephone into an old storage space, the insider revealed. He comes out of the cell 6 times a day. The twisted, funny man has even had his lawyers draw up a proposal to fight his sexually violent offender designation, claiming that it would ruin his reputation. I believe that.
That will definitely ruin your reputation.
Oh, yeah, in prison, sure. That label, even out of prison, that label is the the one thing you don't want to carry into prison, noted a prison expert. Sex criminals are an instant target on the inside. So yeah, I mean that's the story. So now, what's the real deal as far as what's going on?
Yeah, so ccn.com, which is
coins news, cryptocurrency news.
I don't think they ever actually say what the 3 letters stand for, but it's probably cryptocurrency news.
Yeah, okay.
They again mention this gossip magazine, Radar Online, making the allegation that Bill Cosby has purchased $5 million worth of Bitcoin. They say, according to the publication, Cosby allegedly believes that moving assets into Bitcoin will allow him to shield his fortune from creditors, including his lawyers, whom he allegedly owes millions of dollars in legal fees, and possibly hide money from his wife if she pursues a divorce. Radar, like most gossip magazines, pays sources for stories and does not subject claims to the same level of scrutiny that a news outlet would. Consequently, the publication's claims should be taken with a heavy dose of skepticism, barring independent verification by a more reputable publication. On the off chance that it's true, though it's not clear from whom Cosby is getting financial advice, because this so-called expert is giving some questionable information. While it's accurate to say that Bitcoin transactions are uncensorable and, depending on how they are stored, resistant to government seizure, that does not mean that trading your physical dollars for digital gold will exempt you from financial liabilities. For one thing, it would be virtually impossible for someone as high profile as Cosby to both quickly, and I'm trying to reword the sentence here because it's kind of or oddly worded, to quickly acquire $5 million worth of Bitcoin and to do so in a way that cannot be traced by blockchain analytic firms. I'm not sure what a blockchain analytic firm is.
It's a group of geeks who know how to trace things on the blockchain.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do make a point of if somebody, especially Bill Cosby, bought $5 million worth of Bitcoin, somebody would notice it very quickly.
Well, I mean,
you could spread it out and you could do various other things to mask the
and
purchaser.
Also keep in mind, I mean, the volume in Bitcoin, let's see here, according to coinmarketcap.com, over the last 24 hours was 4.4 billion. So, I mean, 5 million is but a fraction of 4.4 billion.
Yeah.
There's more coming up here. Free Talk Live.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we're proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of styles and sizes for any occasion. To find yours, visit gusset.com. That's GUSSET.com. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty media outlets like the one you're listening to. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free if you want. You take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And there's Discord. The Discord on-air call-in line rooms are available to you. We've actually got somebody in there right now. We're going to go to that shortly. Over at discord.lrn.fm with you tonight. It's Ian.
And Chris.
And Darryl.
Want you to know about AnyPay. If you are somebody who is in the world of cryptocurrency, and you want to accept crypto at your point of sale in the retail business that you do, well, AnyPay can make that super easy. Go to anypay.global. If you've already got a tablet at your point of sale, you are halfway done because that's really all you need. It's just some sort of device at your point of sale. You go to anypay.global, sign up with your username and password, jump right in, put your crypto addresses in the setup page, and then load up the point of sale app. It's really not even an app. It uses your web browser that you already have, so you don't even have to download anything. But you follow the instructions to get the app going on your tablet, and you're good to go. You're then accepting Bitcoin. You're accepting Dash if you want. You've got Litecoin and a few others in there as well over at anypay.global. So, Darryl, you're sharing with us some analysis of this story about Bill Cosby ostensibly buying Bitcoin, according to an anonymous source as reported to the Radar Online, which is basically an online tabloid.
Right.
We've got a little bit more of that coming up here, but first, Gene the Christian Anarchist is on the line here on our Discord chat. Go ahead, Gene.
Hello, guys. Hey, Ian, I like your shirt. I'm in Houston to watch the Rebels play, so...
What is the Rebels? Is that a sports team?
Yeah, that's Ole Miss Rebels.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
College football.
Okay,
football. They're going to play tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we're here for the game.
Are you like an alumni?
Who are they kicking the season off with?
No, our son goes to Ole Miss.
I see.
Willie did. He graduated this year. And tomorrow they're playing Texas Tech.
All right.
So that's our
well,
team.
Go
We're
team!
here to root for. Yeah. Okay, so I'm calling to stand up for my buddy Bill Cosby.
Really?
I call him my buddy because I've never met the man, but I've listened to him for 50 years, and he is absolutely a hilarious guy. And you know, all of this stuff that supposedly is evidence against him. If you were accused under this kind of evidence, Ian, I would expect you to be found not guilty. This evidence is so shaky, and it looks so much like a gold digger trying to make a lot of money on a rich guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I figured.
And as far as the Quaaludes go, you know what, Ian? Quaaludes used to be a recreational drug. That's what people did. They took Quaaludes to get high.
Yeah.
It's not like just because he gave her Quaaludes that he was trying to take advantage of her. That was a way to get high back in those days. And the rich people liked to use Quaaludes and a little bit of alcohol, and they'd get loaded, and then they'd have a party. And that's the way it was. I mean, this girl, when she went over there to his apartment, was no doubt aware of what she was in for, and I don't think she was against it at all.
You're saying she knew that she was taking Quaaludes, that
Yes,
Bill Cosby
absolutely.
didn't
He
misrepresent them as something else. He just straight up told her they were Quaaludes and that she wanted to use them to get high.
I don't know if he told her or not, but she knew she was going over there to get high and have a party.
Yes.
And if she, and so this whole thing, it didn't come up until many years later. It all seemed to be something that, you know.
There's a lot of allegations here. I mean, it's not just this one woman.
He had a lot of parties.
Right.
I mean, the guy was rich, and he liked drugs, and he liked booze. And
women.
And women.
Yeah.
And so now they're all coming out of the woodwork trying to make up all these things because of the Me Too movement. And I think
you think that's why? You don't think that there's actually something here? You don't think that there's some sort of taking advantage that went on here? Using influence and power to put women in vulnerable positions?
Yeah, well, the women went to his apartment, didn't they?
Well, wherever this happened.
Them from behind a bush.
Right, but just because somebody goes to your apartment doesn't mean that, you know, they're consenting to everything that you've got in mind.
That's true.
Well, yeah, you know, you're right about that. But then again, there's the other side of this coin where a girl going to his apartment, especially he's a successful Hollywood type and he's got a lot of money, and these girls want to get in with him and they want connections, and they go over there expecting to do whatever they have to do. Now, the system, you can say the system sucks, and it really does. You know, it was not a good system, but that's the way things were done in Hollywood from the 1920s up until this Me Too movement started.
Is this not still how they're done?
I'm sure it's still how
it's got to still be done that way.
Changed.
Now maybe things are going to change now that this Me Too thing started.
Well, SAG and the other unions, they did say that, and this could just be for show, saying that they're putting an end to the casting couch sort of things.
How would the union be able to end that?
That's why I said it could just be.
Yeah.
And, you know, it could be something of, if you do this, you violate the terms of union membership and you get kicked out of the union.
Yeah.
Does that mean you can't be hired anymore? I mean, and what's to stop
the
producer from, or some other producer that's not part of the
right? Are
they doesn't
union?
hire union actors from hiring?
Is the producer in the union? Because he's not worried about getting kicked out if he's not actually in the union. Then it would be the victim of that.
Most everything in Hollywood is union.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but is he part of the SAG or AFTRA or whatever? The producer.
Generally, yes.
I thought that was just for actors.
SAG is Screen Actors
Guild. So why would the producer
AFTRA is something? There's all kinds of unions. Everything in Hollywood is union.
Yeah. So
there's a guy whose job is to move cables. That is all his job is.
Yeah.
He's in some kind of union. I don't know which one.
Right.
But if he's not a member of that union, he's not working on the set.
If there's a producers union, I'm telling you, they're not going to kick you out over the casting couch because that's what happens. Like, why would that ever happen? Maybe they're going to ban the actor.
That's why I said it could just be all for show of these unions saying we're not going to allow this anymore.
And
could
I would
be
think
for show.
a lot
I don't
of these
know.
actresses are currently, at the end of their career. They're thinking, I'm not making any money right now. And maybe they're trying to cash in on these casting couch experiences that they had when they were younger. And that's what I think is really happening. Now, they... like I say, that was the system. It wasn't a good system. It's a pretty dirty system. But to put somebody in prison for 30 years over something like that, when that was accepted practice back then, it's just, I think it's pathetic. And I think that Bill Cosby is getting royally messed up here.
Yeah,
well, interesting theory, Gene. I thank you for the call and the thoughts. Go ahead, Chris.
I've heard of there's another gentleman, Jacob Applebaum, who had a sort of similar type of situation where they basically totally destroy his reputation. Supposedly, like all these people, made accusations on this website, and turns out the only one that had any scrutiny to it was a girl basically being invited up to an S&M,
bondage
party, and then later not being happy about the situation after the fact, but then also coming out once they figured out who it was, coming out and she actually said that, I knew what I was getting into, and while I regret it, he didn't, rape me or anything like that, and but nonetheless, his career was ruined, and it's sad. We have this culture of I don't know if it's a Me Too culture, but it's this culture of like destroying people's careers and men, and
Right, and then there's also a lot of women that are scared to come forward because they know that they're going to have every aspect of their life scrutinized by the police, by the media, and by the general public.
It's the penalties and the punishment and everything else is so strong. You have to have evidence that's beyond any reasonable doubt, and the reality is we usually don't have that.
Right, but you wore a short skirt last week, so therefore...
Yeah, and people get convicted over it anyway.
All right, we may have more on the way here. Also, we might do an Edgington post here in the remaining moments of Free Talk Live. More coming up. You can join us online over at freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's another edition of the Edgington Post Show. This is Mark Edge doing another Free Talk Live Edgington Post, and I try to bring to you interesting news, interesting people who want to talk about things that are of interest to the Liberty folks. Right, so today I've got Steve Hayes, and Steve, you're a spokesman for the Fair Tax, is that right?
That is correct. I am actually the chairman of the board of Americans for Fair Taxation, which is the sponsor of the Fair Tax. We're a 501c4.
So for me, what that sounds like is Americans for a good form of cancer. Now, admittedly, taxation is fair tax is probably better than the rest of the types of taxes out there, but I wonder about it in many cases. So I'm going to ask you some questions about it, and we'll go from there. Let's get a foundation of what the fair tax is. I think a lot of people have heard about it, but I'm not sure everybody has. And this is a general interest show, okay?
All right.
So lay it out for me in a nutshell. What's the fair tax? As opposed to the income tax,
fair
right?
Tax
so it's a national tax.
The fair tax is on the federal level, a sales tax, a federal retail sales tax on new goods and retail services. And I emphasize new goods and retail services because that's what is being taxed. It is a 23% tax, as I said, and it replaces entirely the federal income tax, both individual and corporate, and the way we fund for Social Security through the payroll tax, which, by the way, is the most regressive federal tax we have. So we eliminate that, 23% on all new goods and retail services with a tax credit, which we call a prebate, which allows the purchase of goods and services up to the poverty level for each family size to be exempt from tax. Remember, with FICA, with Social Security and Medicare, $1, whether you have 10 kids or 0 kids, you're going to start paying the Social Security tax. So we get rid of that, replace it all with a federal sales tax, and from a liberty point of view, I don't know, Mark, you're of a different age group than I am, but I used to be very good friends with Harry Brown when he ran for president on the Libertarian ticket in the 90s.
If I were to describe myself as anything as far as libertarian, if people like to call themselves Rothbardians or whatever term, I would use Brown's name, perhaps Mary Ruart's.
Well, Harry became a good friend. We appeared on a lot of programs together, and we always had good-natured debates. And of course, he always, during the debates, would say, this was not what we want. We want to get rid of the federal behemoth. This helps fund it. But the things that are positive about the fair tax is that it puts everything the federal government is ripping off in front of every single American every time they make a purchase. From the youngest child to the oldest person, we're all consumers. And instead of hiding the amount of tax they're taking through the income tax, through the Social Security tax, through this tax, through that, everything is on the table every day. So everybody sees what it is. Number two, all taxes, every tax we pay to any government, not only just the federal government, but it's a consumption tax, Mark. And the reason I say that is if you have a tax of 10%, and you tax me on it, you've just reduced my ability to consume by 10%. I'm not the federal government. I can't make up money. I have to be able to spend what I have, or I'm going to go bankrupt. So therefore, any tax is a consumption tax. Presently, we have hidden consumption taxes. And by that I mean you have a tax on consumption before it occurs. And that's called withholding. That's called the federal income tax. That's called Social Security. You have a tax on consumption because the cost to corporations and businesses of the payroll tax and of the other taxes they pay to the government, federal government, are included in the prices. That's all hidden from you and me. So therefore, what you have to do in many cases, in order to earn a dollar to use to consume, you're going to have to earn $1.25, $1.30, maybe more, maybe $1.50 or $1.60. in order to net that dollar after the federal taxes. So you're still being taxed on your consumption, but the difference is the fair tax says, Congress and the swamp, you can't hide the amount of taxes you're stealing, because a lot of it, I think, is extortionate. And two, it's up to me how much tax I spend, because it's up to me how much I purchase. Now, obviously, there are minimum purchases I'm going to make.
Yep, you're going to have to pay the mortgage. You're going to have to, which probably wouldn't be taxed, would be my guess.
No.
Yeah, you're going to have to pay the mortgage. You got to pay the power bill. Would that just power bill is a service? That'd be taxed, right?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to have to pay.
But it's taxed today, Mark.
Yeah, it is.
Remember, keep in mind that
you will not get the argument
because of the pre-tax.
Yeah, you won't get that argument from me. I understand that that very much is the case. That we're just talking about a different way of of taxing here, and I think that the real advantage to the fair tax is that it incentivizes thrift. It incentivizes people saving money. If people were incentivized to save money, then they wouldn't need things like Social Security nearly as much as they do. We buy a lot of crap that we simply don't need, and that incentivizing thrift is probably the best thing that we can do for the economy, and I appreciate the fair tax for that.
Let me give you another quick point, though, on that, going along what you said.
Okay.
There's a recent poll out showing that 78% of Americans, working Americans, 78%, Mark, are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. There's another one that says that 40% of Americans can't put their hands on $400 and that 60% can't put their hands on $1,000.
Wow.
Those are frightening numbers.
Frightening numbers. And, a lot of it's driven by the fact that during the last 8 years of Obama's presidency, we had such abysmal growth. But what drives payroll wage increases? What drives it is not the government mandating that you pay more. That simply, without anything else changing, will reduce the number of workers. But what drives it is productivity. It's being able to go have a worker who makes 10 widgets an hour with a machine, buy a machine, a better machine, and now he can make 20. Well, you've just doubled his productivity. I defy anybody to find an economist that won't show you that increases of productivity are what drives wage increases. It drives expansion of the economy. And what we've got with the fair tax, Mark, which is really important, is that we have just become a huge source for foreign investment. Of the 30-some-odd trillion dollars that is escaping taxation from the countries where their owner lives, through various evasion in most cases, that's offshore, they're looking for investments. And if we get rid of the tax on capital here, we're suddenly a 20 to 40% more advantageous place to invest than any place else in the world.
Explain that to me. Why is it that the U.S. becomes more advantageous by sales tax?
Well, first of all, we get rid of the income tax because when they make these investments, they do it through entities that are going to be taxed.
That's correct. Okay.
Just like you and I.
Sure.
If you don't have an income tax, they're not going to be taxed.
If you come to the United States and you stay here long enough, and it doesn't matter what kind of visa you have, just the being on the soil as a non-citizen, you're responsible for paying the income tax.
181 days.
It's 181 days. Yeah, if you spend 181 days, and I mean, you could have a student visa, you could have the kind of like visitor visa where you're just allowed to go to Disney World. It doesn't matter if you're making money from outside the country. So maybe you're an oil sheik and you spend 181 days in the U.S. and your profits from pumping oil out of the ground in Saudi Arabia, you're responsible for paying income, United States federal income tax on oil that is pumped out of the ground in a place that is not in the United States. They just do it. They just tax you. I don't imagine that many people pay it, but yes, they're responsible to pay it.
Yeah, and they are, and it's like a huge situation. Well, that same Saudi Arabian example you used is now free to come over here and invest in companies and startup companies, in your company, Mark, and whatever, and any profits that come out of that are 100% going back to Saudi Arabia. Well, you say, wait a minute, that means the rich are getting richer. Yes, but look at the 98% of the population that does better. And yeah, maybe 1 to 2% are going to get an angle and be a little more ahead. But look at the rest of us who are working out there every day, and we're all going to benefit because that productivity increase, and you've got what's called the multiplier effect, which means that a dollar invested isn't simply a dollar impact on the economy. That dollar is multiplied because let's say the man who gets the money, he buys a machine.
To hear the rest of this great interview, go to archives.freetalklive.com and get the MP3. Look for today's date there and download or just listen on the web. archives.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The Torchwood Report is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, August 31st, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.59 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,203 per ounce. Zen is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,000.